Let's look at the agenda. Any amendment to the agenda? Any amendment? And there being no amendment, can we then move towards adoption of the agenda? Can
I
have
so
someone
do.
move for adoption of the agenda?
I so do, Chairperson.
Tango moves. Any seconder?
When you seconded, Chair.
Mama Rakhane.
Mama Rakhane and Ngwenya, okay. Thank you very much. The agenda is so adopted. Once more, welcome to everybody. We will then proceed to item 2 of the agenda, apologies. Any apologies, Advocate Pindela?
Thank you very much, sir. We have the apologies of the Deputy Chairperson, House Chairperson committees.
Yeah, just repeat that again.
Deputy Chairperson,
Yes.
House Chairperson
no.
committees.
House Chairperson committees.
They
Nyambia,
are attending the JSC meetings.
the JSC meeting. Yeah.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much.
not-
Another?
I was informed that Honorable Bartlett will join the meeting later. I'm not sure if she has joined already.
Okay. No, so those are the only 2 apologies. Thank you very much. Sure, the apologies are noted. Let's move on then to the minutes. Item 4. We'll do page by page corrections. Any correction on page 1? Page 2? Page 3? Page 4. Page 5. And page 6. Just on page 3, under consideration of the draft parliamentary program. If you look at the second line there, the second sentence, the first sentence, second line, the Secretary of NCOP presented the remainder of the first term and second term program and stated that the debate on taking parliament to the people, and then it goes on. I'm sure we just did some slight correction there, just to make sure that the paragraph in the sentence there makes sense. I'm sure that can be done soon after this meeting. Any other correction? No, none. That being the case, can someone move for adoption of the minutes as a true record of what transpired the last meeting?
Okay.
Adoption of the
BB
minutes
moves,
as
Chairperson.
amended. Yeah, BB moves.
BB.
Yeah.
Be with amendments.
Thank you very much. Any second?
Ngwenya seconded, Chair.
Gwenya seconds. Thank you very much. There we are. The next item on the agenda is matters arising. Advocate Pindela, why don't you take us through
Thank you very much, Chair.
the action list? I don't have it here with me, but please proceed.
The action list has been distributed, Chair,
Yeah.
and there are 2 items on the action list
Yeah, no,
which have both been completed. The first one was on the 23rd of March 2023. The debate on taking parliament to the people Ugu District Municipality in KwaZulu-Natal Province. Debate on water infrastructure investment, building viable water infrastructure for sustainable and reliable water to communities. Then on the 27th to the 28th of March 2023, there was a joint committee, there was a workshop of the joint committee of the chairpersons. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Advocate. Maybe just to say that we need to pay a bit more attention on matters arising. I'll just give you an example of that. If you look at on page 2 of the minutes, it says there, the third line, before the end of the parliamentary ongoing and progressive report will be submitted at the next meeting. Then on page 5, it says there that the ad hoc joint committee on flood disaster relief and recovery awaiting names of members to constitute the committee. And on page 6, just above the closure, the last sentence there, apart from the sentence come to where the report was noted. The report emanating from the discussion at the IP would be made available to the committee. Those kinds of things need to become part of matters arising, and we need to give a report on these kinds of issues. Any comment?
Yes, Chairperson. Chairperson, in the minutes, there's reference to the AU-EU meeting. That meeting did take place, and the report will be submitted to that.
Okay. That kind of thing. Thank you very much, Honorable Dang. Any other comment? Edward Pinda, do you want to make a comment?
Chair, we have noted what has been said.
Okay.
I have no further comments.
Okay, thank you very much. We will then proceed to item 6, consideration of the draft parliamentary program. Honorable Njadu.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning. Good morning to all the members of the programming committee. Today is the 20th of April, the National Council of Provinces second term program 2023. Chairperson, yesterday the Whippery, there was an engagement with the Whippery where the program was presented, and today we're going to present it to the programming committee. Just for a meeting to take note, Chair, is that the Judicial Service Commission met since since 17 to 21 of April. Therefore, the House chairperson has an apology. So I want the meeting just to take note of any amendments also on the committees, so that if there's anything that just to take note of that. Chairperson, today is the 20th of April and it's programming committee. And then it follows by caucus at 10 o'clock, and then a plenary in the afternoon will be the questions to the Deputy President. Then Friday the 21st will be the deadline for Cluster 4D Economics, which is scheduled for the 11th of May. Then, Chairperson, on the 25th of April, will be select committee briefings on departmental strategic plan and budget votes. And also we'll have member support forum. Then moving to the 26th of April, select committee briefings on departmental strategic plan and budget votes. 27 April will be Freedom Day. And then will be committees on a Friday, cooperative governance and traditional, Friday the 28th. On the 2nd of May, Chairperson, we'll have at the afternoon, we'll have a plenary, which is questions to Cluster 4A, economics, agriculture, land reform and rural development, forestry, fishery and environmental, mineral resources and energy. On the 3rd of May, we'll have a provincial whips forum, and then we'll have a plenary in the afternoon, which will be the following items: will be consideration of reports of Select Committee of Cooperative Governance, forensic investigations, proactive oversight on land reform, environmental and mineral resources, consideration of report of Select Committee on Trade and Industry, consideration of report of Joint Standing Committee on Finance Management. Then legislative matter will be policy debate on budget vote. On the 4th of May, Chair, will be another programming committee followed by caucus. In the afternoon, we'll have a plenary. Questions to Cluster 4B, economics, public enterprises, public works and infrastructure, and then communications and digital technologies. On the 5th of May, the joint committees, which will be parliamentary group of international relations. 8th of May, 9th of May, sorry, Chair, 9th of May will be in a plenary in the afternoon, which will be questions to Cluster 4C, economics, tourism, transport, employment and labor. On the 10th of May, we'll have a plenary, which will consideration of Division of Revenue Bill 2023, and a policy debate on budget vote 18, which is health. In the afternoon, on the 11th of May, we will have caucus, and in the afternoon, we will have questions to Cluster 4D, which is small business development, finance, trade, industry, and competition, minister in the presidency to electricity. On the 16th of May, we'll have a plenary in the afternoon. Then we'll have the consideration of the land court bill, consideration of the repeal of the Scanian Panel Code bill, policy debate on budget vote 33, which is human settlement. 17th of May, provincial whips forum. In the afternoon, we'll have a plenary, which is provisional, policy debate on budget vote. On the 18th of May, we'll have a program committee meeting followed by a caucus. And then also in the afternoon, we'll have a plenary provisional, which is a policy debate on budget vote. On the 22nd of May, Chair, we'll have a plenary in the afternoon, policy debate on budget vote 31, which is employment and labor. On the 24th of May, will be a plenary which is still provisional, which is policy debate on budget vote. 25th of May, plenary which is also still provisional, policy debate on budget vote. 26th of May will be the deadline for the submission of questions to cluster 3A, which is governance, which is scheduled for the 13th of June, 2023. Then on the 29th of May, Chairperson, will be the deadline of questions to the Deputy President, which will be a second session in the second term of the Deputy President. The deadline will be 29th of May, and which is scheduled for the 14th of June. On the 30th of May, we'll have a plenary, which is a policy debate on budget vote 28, police, policy debate on budget vote 21, civilian secretariat of police, policy debate of budget vote 24, independent police. Then on the 31st of May, we will have another provincial whips forum, which will be followed in the afternoon, which is still provisional, on policy debate on budget vote. Also, the deadline for submissions of questions to cluster 3B, governance, which is scheduled for the 15th of June. Then on the 1st of June, will be programming committee, followed by caucus. In the afternoon, we will have a plenary, which is consideration of the performance protection amendment bill and consideration of the copyright amendment bill. 2nd of June, Chair, will be the 3 spheres planning session. And on the 6th of June, will be a plenary, which is still provisional, which is the policy debate on budget vote. 7th of June will be a plenary, which is also provisional, which will be policy debate on budget vote. 8th of June, we'll have a caucus in the morning, 10 o'clock, and a plenary in the afternoon, which is also still provisional, which is also on policy debate on budget vote. 12th June, 13th June, Chair, in the afternoon, we'll have a plenary, questions to cluster 3A, governance, cooperative governance and traditional affairs, and public service and administration. On the 14th of June, we'll have a provincial whips forum, and then we'll have a plenary, which is hybrid, is also still provisional, on the questions to the Deputy President. 15th June, Chair, will be programming committee, followed by caucus, and in the afternoon we'll have a plenary, which will be questions to cluster 3B, governance, minister in the presidency, women and youth, and persons with disabilities, minister in the presidency, governance, minister in the presidency, planning, monitoring and evaluation. On the 20th of June, we'll have a plenary in the afternoon, consideration of the prevention and combating of hate crime And also we'll have a policy debate on budget vote. Then on the 22nd of June, Chair, we will have consideration of the ESCOM debt relief bill and also consideration of the appropriations bill, which is the 22nd of June. Then on the 23rd of June, we will then have a youth parliament on the 23rd of June, which will be the last day for the National Council of Provinces second term, which the constituency period for the National Council of Provinces will be from the 26th of June to the 31st of August, 2023, which is aligned with the NA, which is the NA is the 19th of June to the 31st of August, 2023. Chairperson, that is in terms of the second term for the National Council of Provinces. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Njadu. Are there any comments on the program? Honorable members, any comments on the program? None. Thank you very much. That will, having of course noted the report, we'll move on to the next item, which is item 7, report on select committee business and report of legislation before select committees. Nyambi is not there, but there's a report included in the package. Are there any comments that members would like to make on this? Not unless Advocate Pindela wants to make a comment. Honorable Labuskakne.
Thank you very much, Chair.
There's Muhai, sorry, just before Labuskakne, there's Muhai. Muhai, let's start with you. Chief Whip.
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning to honorable members. Thanks very much. Fairly Honorable Njadu has presented the program. I just want to make a remark following our discussions in the Whipari. We did suggest that we should relook into some of the meetings, especially based on the previous experience, on where there are joint meetings or otherwise where the specific meetings of the select committees must be convened. So we'll be meeting with the House chairs urgently and the chairs of committees to look into this matter. We have impressed upon it yesterday, and also the issues that Honorable Njadu spoke of reconciling our constituency period. So we will deal with those matters that were raised yesterday.
Honorable Mahai, the thing is that we're now on item 7. But because of course it's you, the Chief Whip. Yeah, let's see. Please conclude what you are saying.
Okay. No, Chair. Thanks. I think it's safe to say that recommendations made by the Whipari will be taken further. Maybe they will reflect in the coming programming committee meeting. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable members, we're now on item 7. We'll start with Honorable Labuskakne. Labuskakne.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, yes, on the item 7, the program implementation, I look at the bill specifically. And yesterday, the secretary mentioned in the WIPS meeting that the bills, all the bills, the NCOP would be able to deal with all the bills that's still coming to us in this year. I really think that we really need to rethink this, because as at the moment, there are And I'm only looking at the 76 bills because that has an implication on the process and the time frame of of negotiating mandates and final mandates, and the bills that has to go to the provinces. So I didn't even look at the 75 bills. That's excluding the 75 bills. There are 1376 bills before the NA at this moment. And there are 13 bills before the NCOP. Now, according to the program, the implementation program as provided to us, these 13 bills before the NCOP, some of them will only be finalized in the third term. So in the meantime, those bills that's before the NA at this moment will still come in, and then we don't know how many bills will still be introduced in this year in the NA. So, Chair, I really would like to make a call because the implications thereof is either one of two things. We will either have to make a decision and have a cut-off time for bills to come to the NCOP that we will be able to deal with, and or we will be forced into a rushed job to try and finalize these bills. And depending on when the election is going to be, provinces, the NCOP will sit and we will have egg on our face, not the provinces, when provinces are already going on constituency time or recess time in preparation for the elections, and they don't send in the negotiating mandates, etc., etc. And in the end, bills can be taken to court for a lack of public participation, as happened in the previous two terms. And I don't think the NCOP need to have that albatross around our necks if we know there's a way that we can prevent that. So I really want to plead with the presiding officer, Honorable Chair, to talk to the Speaker and to see if we can come up with a acceptable and reasonable plan, because yes, we are legislators, we have to do our job. But we can only do the job in a way a bill that becomes an act have to be, something that is worth it and not something that impacts on people in a negative way. So therefore, we have to be thorough and we have to spend enough time with the bills, and we are the house that represents the interests of the provinces and specifically in legislation. So if we don't going to have enough time for the processes in the provinces, some of these bills can be taken to court. And as I said, we need to plan for that. And I think it's in our ability to prevent that. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Abustakne. I'm sure the concerns raised by Honorable Abustakne are shared by many honorable members. Is a concern that really relates to things being done timelessly and ensuring that towards the end of the term in the last few weeks, last few months, we don't experience any untoward problem. Now, thank you very much, Honorable Dango.
I'm covered, Chairperson. Thank you.
You're covered. I'm covered. Thank you very much. Any other comment?
Chair,
yes.
here. Chair.
Yes, who's speaking?
Pindela.
Pindela, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. Yes, indeed, Chair, we have indicated to the WIPARI that we have attempted to make a projection on the bills that are currently before the committee committees of the National Council of Provinces. And our projections were that these bills may be, the National Council of Provinces may be able to finalize these bills, which are currently before committees. We also have had a meeting with the liaison officers of the provincial legislatures. And there seems to be consensus that those bills that the provincial legislatures have already received programs for, the provincial legislatures will be able to deal with those bills. And these projections discounted the constituency period that is coming between June and August. And our projection, Chair, was that if there are any bills that will come before the National Council of Provinces in November or December, the National Council of Provinces, taking into consideration when the elections will take place, the National Council of Provinces may not be able to deal with those bills, particularly bills affecting provinces. Also taking into consideration the programs of the provincial legislatures. We shall continue to put this matter before the program committee as well as the WIPARI, taking into consideration that the projections that we shall continue to make. We must also, in that, factor the fact that some provincial legislatures or on some bills, there might be requests for extensions. In the event that there are requests for extensions, the possibilities that if that time goes beyond what the National Council of Provinces may accommodate, the National Council of Provinces may not be able to that's the projection that that we put before the WIPARI, and this is the report that we are putting before the programming committee, with the emphasis that there might be other bills that the National Council of Provinces would be required to deal with, like the Adjustment Appropriation Bill, the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill. Those bills, it would be compulsory, if I were to put it that way, for the National Council of Provinces to deal with, or any other bill that may require urgent attention of the National Council of Provinces. So we shall continue to monitor the processing of bills and continuously put this report before the program committee as well as before the WIPARI. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. Briefly put, I mean, the Secretary to the NCOP is basically just reporting to us that the team will monitor the situation and that will be kept abreast of development of progress or lack thereof. And as much as possible will be done on our side to ensure that we keep to the schedule and we do things the way we want them done. Same, of course, to emphasize that where the emergency situation, like those bills that we have a legal obligation to really attend to, we'll have to see what is it that can be done. But everything possible be done to ensure that undue pressure is not exerted on the NCOP as an institution. Thank you very much. Any other comment? No other comment. So the report is noted. Maybe Honorable Nyambi, when he is around, may want to raise a point or two. There are issues that I thought I was going to raise on matters arising on my part, but I won't do so now. Save just to indicate that broadly, for instance, the issues related to progress reports on the status of intervention issued in terms of Section 1391B of the Constitution, 1996 municipalities within KwaZulu-Natal, with a matter arising, extension of intervention issued in relation to influent local municipality, Gauteng in terms of Section 1391B of the Constitution, also a matter arising. There are also the progress report on interventions, and this includes, amongst others, in Pofana, Bakulusi, local municipality, and so on. Those issues will have to be flagged in a particular way and followed up so that we indeed have a sense of the status. There's also a question of National Council of Province to investigate the state of water infrastructure and inadequate performance by the officials in the Nkosa local municipality and Erikwala district municipalities and so on. So those issues will have to be followed up after this meeting. And Honorable Nyambi and the team will have to pay specific attention to these matters and give us an update. Thank you very much. Any other comment? None. We will then proceed to item 8. So the report is noted there, and the issues followed up, I'm sure, are noted. Report of Parliament's legislative program, item 8. Mr. Byrne.
Good morning, Chairperson, and thank you for the opportunity. Before I touch on certain aspects in the list of bills before Parliament, I'd just like to mention in general that having listened to concerns from members of the NCOP about the process of passing bills, which is not the first time, I can report that the new leader of government business was quite focused when he submitted a list of legislation to be passed to the Speaker, and he implored ministers to confine it to bills that are actually that are absolutely crucial, like SONA priority bills, the appropriations bills that come in October, and of course bills with constitutional court deadlines. So that is, I think, a step in the right direction. Chairperson, if I may, then I'd just like to highlight under paragraph A, item 4, the Constitution 18th Amendment Bill, scheduled for the 2nd of May. This is the one dealing with sign language, and will then be transmitted to the NCOP for concurrence. Secondly, paragraph B2, there's a private members bill, prevention of illegal eviction. That bill we are in the process of sending to the National House of Traditional and Khoisan leaders for comment, having been classified by the JTM as such. Chairperson, before the meeting, I had a look at paragraph C, and I went to the National Assembly document of the committee section, to see how many bills actually have aimed to finalize dates. The one that I think might be worth mentioning is number 4, the National Health Insurance Amendment Bill, Insurance Bill. It has a provisional date of finalization of the 24th of May. But having said that, the bill is 4 years old. So, and it's had previous dates of finalization as well. It's probably not the easiest piece of legislation. So, you know, I think we'd at least wait till 24 May before we get excited about that one. Chairperson, then still on paragraph C, item 26. I got this one wrong. The appropriation bill is scheduled for second reading in the National Assembly on 6 June, not 10 June, as I've indicated there. And then a new bill introduced, Judicial Matters Amendment Bill, referred to the Portfolio Committee on Justice. Chairperson, paragraph F. I've made a note of all the aim to finalize dates of committees in respect of these bills. I know 4 of them have been mentioned in the program as already being scheduled for plenary. And I've indicated those as such. We'll see where that gets us. Chairperson, today there's going to be 2 private members' bills introduced from the National Assembly. The one is a responsible spending bill, and the other one is remuneration of public office bearers amendment bill. I also need to report, in case it was missed, that the electoral amendment bill was assented to, signed into law by the President. And it's a step in the right direction. I think I'll stop there, and I'm happy to answer questions if there are any. Thank you, sir.
If you can just, Mr. Barry, if you can just again repeat what we were saying on the 2 private members' bills we introduced today at the NA.
Certainly, so the one is a responsible spending bill, and the other one is a remuneration of public office bearers amendment bill. There's a trend in the National Assembly for private members' bills to be not referred to the committee, but the member would request a first reading, and after the first reading, the bill is then deemed to be referred. It is completely within the rules. It's just not that often used, but it looks like most members are going that way, and it certainly draws attention to the bill and hopefully to giving it a smoother passage through the National Assembly. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Bear. Any comment, honorable members? Any comments? Thank you very much. There being no comment, honorable members, that brings us to the end of our meeting for today. Otherwise, the report by Mr. Bell is noted, and the issues therein will be closely monitored because the question of bills, as you all know, is a very sensitive one and one that can really get out of control if not monitored properly. So with those few words, thank you very much for attending the meeting. And as I've said, there being no other business, the meeting is declared closed. Thank you very much.